Hey guys, it's Greg. In this video I would like to show you Galactic Cruise, new Euro game, beautiful, amazing Euro game, but also heavy game. So in this video I want to show you some rules and general overview of the game, but I must say it right now the game is quite complex. There's a lot of components and elements on the board, so I am trying to do it as fast as easy as it is possible for me. But again, this video is going to be quite long. So if you are interested in Galactic Cruise, just check out the rest of this video. Right now, I want to tell you more about the components and different mechanics of this game briefly. I know there's a lot of happening on, there's a lot of going on the board, but I am going to try to explain it as simple as possible. So first of all, let's talk about the different sections of the main board. First of all, we have planning and strategy, and this is this part of the board with this column and this column. This is planning and strategy. The second part, we have headquarters. This is this area in the middle of the board. Then we have manufacturing, so those two columns in here where you're going to manufacture your space rockets, and in here we have marketing, where you are going to send your tourists on your vacations in the space. So first of all, let's start with this planning and strategy. In here we have two components. First of all, we have those cards. We have a display of cards, and we have this deck up over here, and those cards gives you different kind of boosts and bonuses that you can use them performing actions, but you also can decide to discard those cards for those resources that are over here. Every time you are lacking some kind of resource, you can always discard this card to get this resource. And for now, that's it. Now, second column, in here we have company goals and the goal of the game in the end, because depending on the number of players, different tiles are going to be used in here. So 1, 2, 3 with different amounts of slots for the cubes. Each player gets their own cubes, and they are going to put them over here every time when they are sending every time when they are sending a rocket to the space, or every time when they are completing one of those goals that are on the bottom over here. The game ends when all of those 3 tracks are filled with cubes, and after the third, after the last cube placed on the third progress track, you are going to play your final round, and the game ends. Now, every time those tiles are filled with cubes, you're going to count victory points, and how many points you're going to get depends on how many cubes are of your color is in this progress track tile, and also you're going to multiply your victory points depending on how many wings you have uncovered on those tracks. So for example, this pink player can multiply this cube by 4, because we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 wings visible on the board. Now, the bottom track, we have a few. I think that we have six of those, each with different goals, and those goals are over here. So we have 3 goals on this tile right now. For example, let's go with this first goal. This first goal tells this is just the goal to recruit this upgraded worker that wears this coat as your regular workers. Are those guys with books and ties, I think. So the first player that recruits this upgraded worker, this player can put one of their cubes from here to one of the tracks above, and they are going to move this marker up. And every time, not maybe every time, but that represents growing difficulty of completing each of the goals, because when 2 of the players acquired their upgraded workers, third and fourth player needs to acquire 2 of those upgraded workers to fulfill this goal. And the same goes with this one and with this one. I am not going to go through all those different goals. So this is our first section of the game. the middle of the board. So in here we have few different elements. On the bottom of the board we have a reputation track where you are going to collect your reputation, and also you can spend your collected reputation on different things. First of all, if you are, for example, on the space 13 and you want to get some money, or you need to get some resources, you can always choose one type of resources that you want to get. So, for example, money, and then you can move your reputation back. And every time when you're moving by one of those symbols represents money, you can collect one. So, for example, if you would move from 13 to 9, you have passed 2 symbols with the money, you can collect 2 money. This is the one way of spending reputation. There's also a second thing. So the higher you are on the board, the more victory points you're going to collect at the end of the game. But you need to be on the track at the end of the game. So even if you were here and then you move to the end of the reputation track to get some kind of resources, again you need to climb the track, so at the end of the game you can collect those victory points that are printed on the bottom. Also, the more reputation you have, the less you have to pay to other players to use one of their cogs, let's say. And now let me explain you how this middle section works. So those locations, you are going to randomly assign those tiles. Those tiles represent different actions that you can perform in this game. So as you can see, we have quite a lot of them, because in every, let's say, building, we have 2 actions that you can perform. And when you are sending one of your workers, it doesn't matter if it's this regular one or this upgraded one, you can perform up to 2 actions. And now, if you are going to send your worker in here, you can decide to spend your 2 actions to perform those 2 actions, because you cannot perform one action twice. So if you're sending this guy here, you can decide to use him to use this action and then this action, or other way around. Or you can decide to use action from the adjacent location. But to use the actions from the adjacent locations, like in here, you need to pay other player that has those cogs in this corridors, let's say. So in this example right in here, and we don't have this cog right in here, for example, right now. Okay, if you would like to use those actions, you need to spend money, and you need to give money to yellow player, and how much money you're going to pay this player depends on your reputation. If your reputation is, for example, here, so it is before this threshold, you need to pay 2 gold, 2 credits to yellow player. If you are here, you need to spend 1 credit for this player, and if you are here, you don't have to spend any credits to this player, and you can use actions in this location. And there's another thing. So, for example, I would like to use actions from this building. So I'm putting the guy in here, and I would like to use actions in this building. Again, you need to pay money to the player. But in here we have 2 cogs, so you need to spend money for a yellow player and also for green player. The more cogs, the more money you need to spend. So this is your way to mitigate those costs, and you can add your cogs, and thanks to this you can use different actions. It doesn't matter the order of the actions you are going to perform, it's up to you. You also can bump other meeples, so you don't have to put this guy over here. You can always decide to put this guy in here and bump this green meeple. But doing this, you're giving this meeple back to the green player, and this green player gets additional bonus, and also they are going to get this this green meeple and use them in their round. So thanks to this, you are helping them in a way, because they do not have to make this rest action, let's say, to collect all of their meeples from the board. On the top of the board we also have those tiles. Those are technologies. we also have few tiles with this. You're randomly choosing them for each game, and those technologies, you can use them to improve your actions. But as you can see, we also have cogs over there, so the same rule as in here. If the blue player would like to use this technology, that player needs to pay money for yellow and green player. Right, now let's go to this section, which is manufacturing. In here you can collect, you can collect new sets of your spaceships. So you're always getting those sets of spaceships, and on those on those tiles you have some information. So first of all, this is your instant bonus that you're going to acquire when you're getting this spaceship, and after that you're just flipping it on the other side, and this tile is ready. Top part. In here we have two information. First of all, if you are not going to use this rocket till the end of the game, you're going to get -5 victory points. But if you would use this rocket at least once, you are going to flip it, and you're not going to get this -5 penalty. And in here we have this additional condition of scoring points depending on the different symbols that are over here, and those symbols you're going to acquire every time this rocket is sent to the space on a cruise. So in here you can collect different sets of the rockets, and those tiles are also randomly put in here, different bonuses and on different rockets. But let's go to this section. In here you can collect blueprints of different attractions you can build into your rocket. So for example, in here we have an attraction for those purple tourists, which are like Zen tourists that they want just to chill out. So you can add this element to your rocket. Those purple tourists are going to spend their time in here when they are in the space and not on a, let's say, planet that is their destination. And in here also this is information how many victory points you're going to get for this piece of rocket. So for this example, that's 1 victory point at the end of the game. But it's not so easy to send your tourists into the space, because when you're building your rocket, so this is your basic rocket, when you're building your rocket you need to have rooms for your tourists. So every time when you're adding a part of the rocket, you're building those so that's not enough, sorry, I need to take 2. When you're adding those parts to your rocket, as you can see, you're building those sections, and those sections represents let's say rooms in your rocket for your tourists. So when you are building your rocket, like in this example with those 4 pieces, you only have 1 space for your tourist. So even if you have 2 parts of the rocket, there's only space for 1 tourist. And in the regular rules of the game, you can only have 3 parts of the rockets. You can increase this number to 4, but basically you can have only 3 parts. So only 2 tourists can be put in 1 rocket until you get upgrade to have 4 parts. As those ends, they do not have those symbols, and they do not count as a space for the tourists. So for example, like this, as you can see, it's only a half, and this is not a space for your tourist. So here you are going to collect like top and bottom of your space rocket, and also those leisure entertainment sections that are going to be used by your tourists. In here we have a storage where you can acquire resources, basically. So we have 3 resources like food, health and fuel, and every time we are collecting from here, you are going to drop those markers to the bottom of those tracks. And now let's go to the final part of the board in here, where is the marketing. So in here we have different information. So we have those metals that are like waiting to be added to the queues of different sections. So we have 3 queues in here, but also we have those tiles that are assigned randomly to those 3 colors of tourists, and depending on how you assign them, each of those tourists are going to give you different bonus. So we have like family time, like families that are going to vacation. We have those Zen tourists and those guys that are wanting to have some kind of extreme experience in a space. So this is the top part of this board. In here we have a space for your what's the name of them? Cruise consultant. So in here you have your cruise consultant maples, and you're going to send them on those spaces in here. We have also green and blue. You're going to send them on those spaces in here, claiming one of those tiles representing different cruises in a space. Now, for example, I am going to show you this tile that represents different cruises. So on this tile we have information how many fuel your rocket needs to spend to go to this cruise, and also on the bottom we have information what kind of events this cruise is going to deliver. So for example, in here we have one event for those Zen tourists and one event for those guys that are looking for extreme experiences. This symbol represents a moment when the shuttle, when the rocket is in a space, so they are not on any of those sites, and when your rocket is on this level of the journey, your tourists are going to use those leisure parts of your rocket. So you want to guarantee that you're sending right people on the right cruise. So for example, in here you would like to send here purple or green maples, and also there's one step of the space travel, and when there's a space travel step, you need to have in your rockets attractions, those leisure rooms that are going to be attractive for those purple and orange tourists. Here we also have those 3 queues, and you can collect guys from those queues to attract them to your cruises, and depending on the queue, different amounts of those tokens, which are odds, you need to spend. So for example, if you would like to again acquire guys for this trip, and they are not standing here. Oh yeah, okay, right. So if you would like to acquire those tourists purple or orange for this trip, you can get guys from this bottom queue, as it is the least expensive, only one ad per maple, so you can spend those 2 ads and move those 2 guys from this queue to your cruise. So you're like selling them your tickets to your cruise. So as I said, with those basic rules, you only have 2 spots for your travelers, for your tourists. If you'd like to acquire more of them, you need to spend again more of those ads, depending on the color of the tourist you would like to add to sell the tickets onto your cruise. Now, that's not all, because each player also gets this tiny player board with a lot of information. So in here we have this diagram of showing us steps when you're launching your rocket to the space. So we have like 5 steps. You're going from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to 0, and your rocket is sent into the space, and the cruise starts. In here, this section represents your This section represents your launching site. So those tiles you're going to, in here, on those tiles you can acquire different kind of bonuses, but also you can flip those tokens on the other side and take them onto your ship when you're launching your ship onto the cruise. And depending on where this ship lands, you can move this token to one of those spaces in here, unlocking different type of bonuses. So for example, if you would send your rocket onto this cruise, so we have this orange attraction for orange tourists, and your rocket lands on this attraction, you can decide to move this token to one of those sections and unlock one of the additional bonuses, and also this token grants you additional victory points for every tourist that is using this attraction during the cruise. I am going to tell you more about this in a second, but what else we have here? I had to move my maples. We have those 3 tracks of resources, and those tracks are covered with those cogs. So when you're setting up the game, you basically can have at least a maximum of 2 of each of the resources. But the more cogs you are going to put on the main board, the more resources you can have. And additionally, there's also at the end of the game, additional victory points depending on the row. So for this row you have 5, 15 and 30 victory points if you would put all cogs on the board. Additionally, we have also those slots on the board, one in here and one in here. On those slots at the beginning of the game, you're going to put your upgraded, your stronger workers, and you can unlock them, but the cost of unlocking them depends on which of the guys you want to unlock. So for example, this guy is going to cost you 2 gold for each of the food and air. So in this example, I have to spend 2 credits for each of the food and air cogs. So in this example, 2 and 2 for 4 credits to unlock this guy. In this section, there is a little bit different condition, because in here you need to spend 3 credits depending on how many of the tiles are in here. So in this example, I believe it's for free. Now, why you want to have those upgraded maples? Not only you are going to have more maples to put them on the board, because on the start of the game you only have 2 of them, but also these upgraded workers, they are going to get some kind of bonus, also chosen randomly during the setup. In this situation, those upgraded workers are going to have this bonus of -1 credit for performing some kind of action on the board. Now, what kind of actions we have in this game? So let's start with these actions. This action with cog and with this I don't know how it's named in English. So basically this is build a development action, and this action allows you to build one of the cogs from your board. So depending on which cog you want to take, you need to spend 7 of credits or resource of the matching cog. So in this example, I would have to spend 7 of fuel or 7 gold or 7 or a mixture of credit and resources to unlock this cog and put it somewhere on the board. So, and that basically this is all. This is it. This is a whole action when it comes to this build a development. Another action with this guy in here. This action allows you to hire this upgraded maple. So so this one allows you to recruit this guy from here or from here. It's a very simple action, and you're going to perform it twice in a game, because you can only unlock 2 of those guys. Another action is in here. So for 1 credit you can get 2 resources of any type, and for 1 credit you can get 2 ads. You can get both of those resources, both of those actions. Another action is in here. For example, let's start with this one, and in here you can get 2 tiles of this 2 blueprints that you can build in your rockets. And now we have some minor twists, because when you get those tiles and you're going to build, you get them, you collect them, and you keep them next to your player board. If you would like to build them into your rocket, this is the cost of building, so two credits. But there's also a possibility to build them, those blueprints, straight from the board. But the cost is different then, because when you're building them straight from the board, you are going to pay this cost that is in here. So, for example, here it's 1 credit and 1 reputation, or 3 credits and 1 reputation. And basically, again, this is it. I don't want to go into too much details. Another action that you can perform, this is this action, and this action represents building shuttle segments. So when you have your shuttle, it doesn't matter if it's like your basic shuttle with no elements. Where is it? So this is your basic shuttle, and so when you're performing this action that I showed you, you can add up to 2 segments of your leisure attractions. So those blueprints that are over here, and you can add them from next to your board, paying this cost as I said, or you can take them straight from the board, paying this cost on the right side of the blueprints. And another action that we have here, acquire a new shuttle. So this action is in here, and it's also very easy, simple, straightforward action. You're just going to choose one of the sets from here, 2, 2, 2, 2, and acquire them, and basically that's it. The limit of the shuttles that you can have is 3, or if you get a right upgrade, you can increase this limit to 4 shuttles. Another action that you can perform is in here. So you can get resources 3 from the warehouse. So from here you can get up to 3 resources of any type as you wish, and this is it. Another action that you can perform is in here, and this action allows you to refill the silo, this warehouse. So you need to discard one of those cards from your hand. So one of those cards, you need to discard it, and you can you can refill the silo, this warehouse with resources. So for example, if I would perform this action and I am discarding one of those cards, I am deciding, for example, to fill food to the max, and depending on how many levels I have filled this food supply, the different amount of money I can get. So from 0 to 5, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 credits plus always 1 reputation. It doesn't matter how many levels you have increased this resource in silo, you are always going to get this 1 reputation. Another action that you can perform in the game is schedule a cruise. So this is this action, and this action allows you to move this guy with headset to one of the crews on the marketing board, like saving it for you. It's right now only yours, so it's safe. You can prepare your shuttle, you can prepare your attractions in this shuttle for this cruise. But then you can also get one of those bonuses and then flip this token to the second side. That represents preparing this tile for takeout, because when you're going to launch your shuttle, you can take this token with you, and as I said, put it into one of those sections on the top of the board. Another action that you can perform, this is in here, and it's advertisement of your cruise. And in here you are going to basically sell tickets to your cruise. And I already told you, you're going to spend different amounts of ads on depending on the queue, and add them to your spots in here, ensuring that those guys are going to go onto your cruise, which should be placed in here. And now another action that you can perform, that's action like here. This action allows you to draw 2 agendas. So you're basically just choosing 2 cards from the display, or if you wish, you can spend 1 of your reputation to get a top card from the discard pile, and basically, again, this is it. Another action that you can perform, this is this action, And this action allows you to refill agenda cards. And right now, what is quite unique in this game, every time when those cards are collected, you're not going to automatically add them to the display. When the cards are taken, you can perform this action to refill this display, and for each uncovered symbol, you're going to get some kind of bonus. So again, reputation adds 1 credit or 1 resource of any type. And again, basically this is it. And now the final action that you can perform, which is not on the board, but on your player board. And this action represents launching your shuttle, or launching your rocket. So you are going to put your maple, your worker, in here, and you're going to go through all those steps before you're going to launch your shuttle. So what this shows you, you need to move your cruise token onto the top of the rocket. So that shows you that this rocket is assigned to this cruise. Then you need to move all the tourists to this rocket. For each tourist that couldn't fit into the rocket, you're going to lose 2 reputation points, and you're taking this guy from the board and you put him back to the top of the board. After that, you are going to move one of your cubes to one of those sections, depending on the stage of the game. And then you need to spend resources. So you need to spend 1 food per tourist plus 1 for the pilot. You also need to spend air, depending on how many segments of those blueprints, of those leisure and the entertainment sections of your rocket. So for example, with 2 you need to spend 2, and then you need to spend fuel depending on your tile. So in this example, it's 4. After spending the resources, you can flip this token. You can flip this token, so you're not going to get this penalty of -5 victory points, or if you already done it, nothing gonna happen. And then you're going to score this bonus in here. So for example, when you're scoring this bonus, you're going to get 5 victory points per this upgraded worker that you have. So you can get 10 victory points in this situation. And after that, you can also add this token that I showed you in here to the bottom of your board, of your rocket, sorry. So you're adding it in here, and that represents that you're carrying this token with you on the cruise. And when you're going to stop on some kind of I'm going to say planet because it's easier for me to explain this. So this is how it's going to look, more or less. And when you're staying, for example, on this purple or orange planet, you can decide to move this token onto orange or purple section and unlock some kind of bonus. And after that, you are putting your worker into the helm, and he is going to be your pilot. So when you are sending your cruise into the space, you're going to lose one of your workers. Obviously, he or she is going to get back to you after the cruise. So when the rocket is back on Earth, you're going to unlock this guy again for free. Now, how you're going to get points in this game? So for example, let's go again with this situation. So for example, our cruise is on this step. So our tourists are on this purple planet that gives you like spa and chill time. So depending on what kind of tourists are on the board, different amounts of ads you need to spend to encourage them to use attractions on this planet. So for example, if you are on your rocket you have only purple tourists, you need to spend one ad per tourist, and you can get 3 victory points per tourist. If you have at least 1 of those tokens, you can upgrade this number by 1. So maximum you can get 6 victory points if you have 3 of those slots taken by the tokens. So you can get 6 victory points per per tourist. If on this rocket you don't have those purple tourists, you have family guys or those extreme guys, you need to spend 2 ads per meeple to encourage them to use attractions on this planet and to get victory points. And what happens when your rocket is in a space? So on this location in here, they are not on any of the attractions. They are in a space, they are traveling, and there's nothing to do. So this is the moment when they are using those blueprints, those leisure attractions in your rocket. So for example, again, let's take for example these two, and as you can see, those attractions are attractive for purple and for orange tourists. So both of those types of tourists are going to enjoy those leisure segments. And now you need to check what kind of bonuses were drawn during the setup and the different type of bonuses you are going to get depending on those scores over here. So you can get again victory points, reputation, or resources in this example. There's also one additional action that you can perform in this game, and you are going to perform it when you do not have employees, workers to put them on a board, or basically whenever you want it, but it's not a very good idea to perform it if you have workers, because every time you are performing these actions, you're going to move your workers back over here. And this symbol of the hand is quite common in the Euro games, because you're going to put this guy in here, and when you cover the symbol, you can get bonuses from the tiles that with this symbol. So in this example, you can get one of these. So if you have you have unlocked 2 additional guys and you have your basic 2 ones, you can get 4 different bonuses from the tiles that are placed in here. Those tiles are removed as they were used to, for example, put them in here. Those are those silver or gray one. So even if I tried to make it fast and short, it took me 40 minutes, but in the end this is the game. So you're going to build the shuttles, add different kind of leisure entertainment segments to your shuttles. You're going to advertise your cruises that are going to different planets with different sets of locations that you can visit, or like in here. This is you need to spend a lot of fuel, but you're going to visit 3 different locations, and also there's a segment in a space. So building shuttles, adding those leisure segments, advertising your cruises, selling tickets onto your cruises, and then sending those shuttles to the space to collect victory points. So this is the game, and the game ends when all of those 3 tiles are filled with cubes. I know it feels like a lot, but in the end, when you start playing the game, it is really intuitive, and after one round you really know what you're going to do and how you're going to play and on what kind of strategy you're going to focus on. So this is Galactic Cruise, beautiful game with totally unique theme. Never seen anything like that in Euro games yet. So if you like this one, just check out more information about the game, as it is going to be on crowdfunding platform soon. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.